What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Knab and Ro Show. I'm here with my compatriot and partner in crime, Ro. Say hi, Ro.
Hi, kids.
And welcome back to our podcast. So last week, we talked in the midst of this awful pandemic, more or less, board games. Things you didn't necessarily have to do gaming-wise to be on an electronic device, kind of hang out and stuff and things like that. So this week, Ro, tell everybody what we're going to be talking about.
We're going to talk about video games.
Yay! So, talking about more or less, let's be real, people these days are going to play more video games than like board games. It's just how it is.
Oh yeah, it is. That's how it is now.
It's just the changing of the times. I mean, I remember when I grew up, Atari, then Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Like, I went through the gambit of all the different platforms that came out as they came out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were definitely a Nintendo family. It wasn't until my brothers probably got PlayStations probably when I was in college. But yeah, we were definitely a Nintendo family, very much so.
Yeah. Here too. We had all the Nintendos. The funny thing, the only thing we didn't have is a Nintendo 64. I kind of went from a Super Nintendo to a PlayStation 1. And then from that point on, I was PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3.
Gotcha.
And then after that, went to playing PC games. Mm-hmm. And then it's very weird because I've been playing PC for years and years and years. And then my buddy graciously gave me a gift of an Xbox One. So I'm playing a lot of Xbox One now. Some PC games and a lot of phone games, which is strange. Convenience.
Yeah, of course. Instant gratification.
Exactly. So what we've decided to do, instead of I feel like, dear God, especially Ro and I, we could talk about video games, what we started on through the history of it, to where we are now, and we would take up an easy 2-3 hours.
No, easy. Yeah.
I mean, simply. So we're going to kind of knock this down to more the present time, and what are our two favorite PC games? What are our two favorite console games, and it can be a console game that's on the PC, you just like it on console better, and then your two favorite phone games, and we'll kind of talk about those a little bit and just more or less dive in. And if you just have one on either, that's totally cool. You know what I mean? So
I'm sure I have two. I can guarantee you I have two of each of those categories.
What am I thinking? Of course we have two.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say ladies first. Ro, if you go ahead and start us off, let's start with the easiest one, PC games. This is kind of your forte and my forte.
Yeah. So I don't, just because I play World of Warcraft, which we talked about in our very first podcast, because that is how you and I met 15 years ago. So that's very much still a dominant game that I play on the computer pretty regularly, a couple days a week, about 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah.
So So not to interrupt, but let's. I'm also going to say one of my top games is World of Warcraft as well, because I have had. How long has it been since vanilla? Like 13, 14, 16 years? How long has it been? 15, 16 years.
No, wait. It came out November of 2004.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So do the math.
So a very long time. That's how long you and I have been playing.
16 years. Yeah, 16 years this November. Is that right?
Yeah.
If I math correctly.
Yeah. So
fun, purple aliens. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we should dive into a little bit about World of Warcraft, what we like about it, and talk about that game a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to go more into
whatever you'd like. Absolutely, whatever you like. Yeah.
I think for me, it's a good social outlet. I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to play with people. I was introduced to EverQuest. I think I was a freshman or sophomore in college. So early 2000s. I'm dating myself. And so that was like the very first kind of role play game that I was introduced to, and then that kind of fizzled out and World of Warcraft came out. And so the group of people, basically family, friends, and then my brothers and my dad all switched over to World of Warcraft and just kind of made my friends through there. And I've made some excellent friends and friends that I still talk to this day that have quit playing and then have come back or vice versa. And I mean, I've taken some breaks in between expansions here and there, but yeah, you can either play singly, you can do player versus player, you can do things as a group. I think it's mainly focused on group objectives.
Exactly.
More so now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy the people for the most part until you get those cranky people and just elitist jerks that you don't want to hang out with. But yeah, that's I think what I'm most, and it's graphically it's amazing. They put a lot of work into it. If you're into trying new games, it's definitely one to definitely check out. It's got a lot of good reviews and awards, and it's been around a long time, so it's good longevity wise.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing with World of Warcraft was the lore behind the game. I mean, they have card games, books, they have a movie out. I mean, they have so much involvement. I know there's a lot of people out there on YouTube as well that spend their time specifically talking about the lore. There's one guy.
That was one thing that I didn't really know about was the lore, and now playing it as long as I have, I'm just like, oh, I should probably read the books now. I kind of want to, just to kind of see why things are the way they are in the game and why this happens and yada yada.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting. So if you have the patience to literally slowly walk yourself through the game, and now here's something you can do, which I don't know if this is smart, especially with how far along the game has gotten now, but you can turn off your leveling. So you can literally get to level 60, play through all the content except for like Naxxramas back in the day, because unfortunately it's not around anymore. But you have stuff like that, and then get to level 70, play through all that stuff, level up, play the gear, and really dive into it. Obviously, you might have a high-level person walking you through. You're not going to get a full raid or whatever. But, there are ways to really dive into each expansion if you're willing to take the time to it and have a friend that's willing to take the time with you. You know what I mean?
Well, they have a lot of scaling now just to help people kind of catch up. I mean, right now they have like 100% XP boost on all tunes till I think like April 12th or whatever.
Yeah.
So you could start a character today and be max level within a week easy if you put 4 to 5 hours a day into it.
Oh yeah, and honestly, 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours in WoW is like nothing, to be quite honest.
I think I looked at that my character pups, the one that I had made, the druid. I did a slash played, and I think over the last 15 years, I think I have like 380 something days played on her.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And that's taking a break through a couple of expansions too.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, yeah.
Now, I honestly
embarrassed about that.
No, you don't have to be embarrassed. I mean, I honestly haven't played that game. How long? It's been like what, 6 months plus, something like that.
Yeah,
I just with everything else going on and whatnot, I just haven't played it. It's not that I'm not interested in the game. I just, there's other stuff that I want to play. It's
definitely a time suck, that's for sure. It's definitely a time suck, and if you don't get to kind of end game stuff quickly, people are working on other things than you are, and it's it's hard to kind of catch up sometimes. It's frustrating, I understand.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like you said, it's mostly all about the people in the game. Like you said from the first podcast, that's where you and I met. That's where I met a lot of other people as well. And to me, that game was just super fun. I mean, one of my good buddies, Adam up in Wisconsin, I met him through the game, and he was in my wedding. It's just sometimes you just have those instances where you meet the people who just become your best friends just because you had a similar interest in the game.
And well, I remember too, like my mom not understanding the concept that these are other people that are playing on there. I mean, she's used to like Nintendo and you can pause the game.
Yeah.
And I remember so many times of her being like, I need you now. I was like, I can't, I'm raiding. And she's like, well, can't you just pause it? And I was like, no, I can't.
But at the
I'll be with you momentarily.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time about that, it's also nice to not have to pause it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
I
real
mean,
time. Real time.
Remember those games where you literally, okay, give me 15 minutes, I gotta go back to the save point, you know,
Yeah.
or you lost everything. This way, literally, if you had to get off if something happened, you might just piss off your party. That's about it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, which is still kind of nice. But, you know, you level your character, you get better gear, is the main goal of the game, and you just see how far you can get, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, get to kill pixel monsters.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of pixel monsters, so I would say, oh man, so this is tough because I do like me some WoW, I do, but my other top computer game is Ark Survival Evolved, and you know I've been trying to get you to play this for years.
You and the boys definitely have, and
Marshall, Casey, and I have been like big. Well, not Casey so much, but I know Marshall and I have been trying to get you to play that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you just real briefly about Ark Survival Evolved. If you guys know it, just tune me out. Go to the next section, whatever. So Ark Survival Evolved is a survival game. So a survival game is basically you start with nothing. You have to gather resources, whether it's thatch, wood, stone, stuff like that. And as you do that and you build things like a thatch house, and then you have a wood house, then a stone house, then a metal house, you know, and then you work your way to futuristic tech houses in end game. Is
this the one where the dinosaurs are in there?
It is. Yes, so they're like dodos. Like the first dinosaur you ever tame is a dodo. You punch it, you knock it out, you stick berries in its butt, and you tame it, and it becomes your best friend. That's basically how that works. And then you have your first attack dinosaur, because the dodo won't do anything. You have it attack something, it's going to die. Let's just face it. But then you have your first carnivore, which is a Dilophosaurus, which is that one from Jurassic Park that spits that acid from its mouth. That's another one. But the funny thing is, if you don't have to play the game, that is the one thing that will kill you over and over and over and over again until you figure out the game. Like me now, those things will never kill me. I've had literally over 3,100 hours of gameplay in this stupid game. It's crazy. Yes. But
is that the one where you like Marshall died and you like built a house around him and he couldn't get out?
Yes. I'll if I can find it, I'll put a clip of that in here of when it was Marshall. I put him in a maze in the desert, and then my buddy Justin, I put him in a house on a cliff, and so when he got up and walked out the door, he fell to his death. It was hilarious.
Yeah, did Marshall like die of like dehydration or something?
It was dehydration, exhaustion. It was so funny.
Such good friends.
Yeah, and all you can hear him say is, "Uh-oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die," and he goes, "Oh wait, I can take it on the wall." Oh, I died! So much fun. I mean, I personally like the building aspect of it. Obviously, taming a T-Rex and making that your pet that you can ride and go attack things is super awesome, you know? You can get on pterodactyls. You can get on... People will say it differently, Quetzal or Quetzal, whatever you want to say it. I say it's a Quetzalcoatl, which is... it technically is the largest winged... non-flying dinosaur, but apparently you can fly it in Ark, which I'm totally cool with. I'm okay with this. It's huge. It's great.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's different things like that. You can tame sea dinosaurs, there's cave dinosaurs, there's jungle things, there's all types of different things that you can tame. There's multiple different maps you can play. It's always fun. That's why I've had so many hours playing, because there's always something you can do. You can build at a new place. You can build something unique. You can build a cabin, a giant house, a skyscraper, you know, anything you want to. Which I think is cool.
I'm still not sold.
What? You gotta play it once, Ro.
I watched you.
You need to give me like one chance to play.
You're gonna kill me. You're gonna make me walk off a cliff or like box me in and kill me in the desert. That is what I foresee my future.
No, that's only when you get really good at the game and you start liking it. Then I can really mess with you.
Whatever.
But I wouldn't do that initially. I promise. I promise I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Well, baby steps, Ro. I know you want to be owned by the noob sauce, which is me, but you'll see. So now, PC games, we have my 1 and 2 is Ark and WoW. What's your second one? Would you say was your second favorite computer game?
My second one, I don't know. Like I don't really have a lot of time to play computer games with working and my social life, I guess. I did enjoy Sims back in the day. That was like way back in the day. I enjoyed that. That was fun. I mentioned I played EverQuest a little bit too, for a time. What else?
I mean, would you say it was Sims more than EverQuest, or EverQuest more than Sims?
Well, they're just so different because to me, I mean, EverQuest came out kind of shortly after this whole like internet thing. Well, I guess say a little bit later, but just the fact that you could play games with like other people as a group or individually, or you're like my dad was like standing right there with his character and it's like, oh, this is great. Like I think I was enthralled with that type of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas The Sims is a loner game. Can't really in the beginning I don't think you could go to each other's houses. I mean, they've come a long way since then, but I did enjoy EverQuest. I would probably say EverQuest.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
There's a lot of history at EverQuest too, which is nice.
Yeah, which is nice, and it kind of goes along with the theme of World of Warcraft, and having objectives and quests and monster killing and saving the day and killing bosses and being almighty dragon killer.
Being almighty, the dragon killer. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Let's move on to console games. So what have been your all-time favorite console games? I mean, do you play console, or have you played console games?
Well, yeah. I mean, not recently, but yeah, growing up. And like I said, we were a Nintendo family, so we had Duck Hunt and the first Mario. God. Yeah, I mean, Duck Hunt. Yeah, started with that, and we had all of them. As far as we had everything. We had Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Nintendo Cube, Super Nintendo. I mean, we had all of them. I do remember, I think it was Nintendo 64. It was really popular, and I think it came out around Christmas time, and it was super hard to get.
Oh, 64? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we, as I'm the oldest of four, us kids, we got it and we like unwrapped it, and there's video proof somewhere of this, because I think I just watched the home video not maybe years ago. Anyway, we were so excited. We like unwrapped it and we're like, oh my gosh, it's Nintendo 64, yay! But and usually the consoles will come with a game and 2 controllers. Like that's typical, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were just mass producing them and not putting actual games
like anything
in the boxes. Yeah. And so we like we unwrapped. We're like, oh my gosh, this is great! And we're like screaming. And we're so excited. And then I start reading the box, and I was like, wait, there's no game with it. And we're just like, we went from a high to an instant low, and we're just like, like we have this great thing, and we can't play it because we don't have a game.
And now you have to wait.
Yeah, well, I remember we just couldn't wait, and we're like, well, we need to go get one. Well, of course, all the stores were sold out of all the really good games, like all the Mario games and stuff. And so I remember we ended up buying this, I think it was called Turok, and we had to kill Turok, dinosaurs or something. It was the stupidest game ever, and I hated it, but my brothers loved it, and I was like, this is lame, blah, blah, blah. But I would have to say, being a Nintendo family, I would have to say my most favorite game from the Nintendo family was the Mario Party game, because that was something that the 4 of us kids could play, and we had a really good time. It's a rarity when all 4 kids can agree on something, and that was like the one thing that we could play for hours without fighting, without doing anything, and it was 4 people could play, so it was great. And so I definitely have a lot of fond memories of playing Mario Party with my siblings.
Oh, so you would say Mario Party is like one of your top console games ever?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be my number one. Absolutely.
Because I know we have the 64 here. We've kind of been collectors of these things, and we have Nintendo, Super Nintendo. We have literally all of them, basically. Like Sega, Sega Genesis, Xbox One, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, all that jazz. And we have all the Mario parties, 1, 2, and 3. I believe that's it.
They're great.
Who knows?
I love them.
But, so my favorite one. So, okay, I know Skyrim is out on all different types of things. PC, yada, yada, yada. But I was introduced to Skyrim on the Xbox 360 is when I was introduced to it. And I absolutely loved that game. Obviously, the guy who poses to his wife on a frickin' back of a horse, loves Skyrim. Are you surprised? So, I mean, I absolutely loved playing that game, and I played it for hours on end. I had a buddy coming in town, and he ended up falling asleep at my house. Sorry, Matt. And I ended up playing that darn game for hours, But currently, the one I'm playing with my buddies, there's actually one game, because I can't get it on computer because I need Windows 10, I need to upgrade my systems and all this stuff, is Sea of Thieves. You can actually get this on your computer, obviously, with these updated schematics. But I got the Xbox One from my friend, and it came with Sea of Thieves. So let me tell you about Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves...
Is that the boat one?
Yes, we call it pirates. So depending on what type of crew you have a sloop, a galleon being the biggest, and you have to move the sails, drop the sails, turn the sails, drop anchor, move everything. Like, there's all this stuff you have to go into. If you get holes in your boat, you have to fix the holes, you have to bail the water out. I mean, it's a blast. You can play versus the environment, but the whole time, people could be around and attack you. So it's very much a person versus person environment, with a person versus environment. What did I say? Person. Yeah. Wow, that was confusing. A person versus an environment. So you can do all different types of fun things. And honestly, it may not be the best game in the world, but the reason I like it is because I can play with my boys down in Florida.
Right.
And that's
the boys.
The boys. And
we need to have the boys on this podcast so people know what shenanigans and whatnot the three of you get into.
Yeah. Well, maybe. But those are, say, as far as console games goes, those are more or less my kind of go-to favorite ones that I'd say.
I would probably say my second one, which isn't a Nintendo one, is Guitar Hero.
Oh my god. That's
so
awesome.
Good. Yeah, a song would come on the radio and be like, I can play this on Guitar Hero. Yeah.
So
I even decked out my guitar with Care Bear stickers. I had this pack of Care Bear stickers. I don't know how I got them, but I was like, and Strawberry Shortcake stickers. I got some of those too. I just completely decorated my guitar with all these stickers. It was great.
Oh, Ro, you're the best. This is why we love you. But little secret, when Marshall and I lived with each other in Columbus, Ohio, we would play that game till all wee hours of the night. I mean, we would literally practice the heck out of that game. It became an addiction. It was bad.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a really long time, but I have a couple different versions of it, and my brother was really good at it too. He was the one I would always try and beat. He was always good at all the stupid console games.
The stupid console games.
Stupid console games. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. We would have kind of match offs at home. We'd go over there and be like, fine, let's settle this dispute with a Guitar Hero match off.
That's fantastic. I mean, now, were you expert, Ro?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I could hold my own. I got to the point where I could pretty much hold my own, but I wasn't nowhere near as good as my brother. He was
through the fire and flames on expert, like the whole 9 yards.
No. I was lucky if I could move the little whatchamacallit, the little
the whammy bar.
Yeah, the whammy bar.
Oh my god, the whammy bar is the best, bro. That's the key, though. That's where you get your power ups and everything.
I know. That's what he would say too. I remember. And then when all the lines would go blue, that was like triple and quadruple points and stuff. Then you get your little thingamajig, and the whammy bar, I think, is what you call it. Anyway, yeah, I should really look into playing that game again. That sounds like fun.
So I was actually talking to a friend of mine about the podcast, and they said, I like it, it's good, but I'd rather be able to see stuff, see your expressions. So maybe I think we're gonna have to find a program where we can actually do that, Ro. And get our
that would
faces.
involve me getting.
I know. It is like the next step. I mean, I'll tell you what, guys. It'll be eventually, not quite yet. We'll get there. Baby steps.
One day, if I either go to Ohio or you come to Oregon, maybe we can do a live one. And,
oh my goodness!
Like a Facebook live feed or something.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, right?
That would be epic. We could do one a day. So, like, we did a weekend trip, like Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. Ooh, 4. We could do 4. That would be a lot of fun. Definitely something we need to do. Yeah, okay. So, we have big hopes for the future.
We do. Yeah.
So here's my question for you. Nowadays, with everybody having computers on their phones for most, the phones are computers. Phone games are kind of being the thing of the future that people can just get up. I mean, I can play Final Fantasy VII full game on my phone.
Oh gosh,
that blows my mind.
I don't have anything that fancy on my phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got Chrono Trigger. I have Final Fantasy 6. 5. I have Secrets of Mana. I mean, I got crazy. I have all this stuff, and I'm just like, this used to need 2 CDs or 3 CDs to even play.
Right.
And I have this on my phone now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, technology. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
So, what phone games would you say are you obsessed with? If you were to give me one good phone game that you play a lot about, and what is it?
Well, now I feel like I'm going to be judged by the games I play on my phone.
Do it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, so the one that I'm obsessed with these stupid cooking games, okay? Like the ones where you have to like
Cooking Fever.
Yeah. Well, I play Cooking City.
Oh, Cooking City.
But I was really, really involved in Scramble. That's another cooking game. But it got really hard. Like I felt like I couldn't progress unless I started buying things with like real money, and I was like, no. So I went to Cooking City. And that was pretty good too. And I also play Cooking Craze too. I kind of alternate between the two, but I'm on Cooking City right now. So that would be probably my one. I did play Candy Crush a lot when it was like all the rave a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I kind of got out of that. But yeah, these cooking games, I'm just sucked into them. Just bad. I really needed like a 12-step program, honestly.
You want your hot dog? You want yourself a burger? How about some sushi?
Yeah. How about donuts? I think I'm on the donut level now.
Oh, that is hilarious.
But yeah, so that's probably my number one right now.
So, okay, I have similar game to that. It's like Housescape or Gardens, something like that. Like one of those ones. You play it, you level up, and then after you do that, you go ahead and you build your house up a little bit, which is cool.
Right.
But that doesn't really keep my attention. So there's this game. It's a PvP game. It's about zoo animals called Zuba.
Was that the one that you were playing the other night when I talked to you?
Oh, yeah, probably.
So, you're like, I'm going to go eat this cow or whatever.
What?
What were you doing?
I don't know.
It was a giraffe. What were you doing with giraffes? I think you were killing something.
Yeah, so it's basically you're in a zoo. So if you know PUBG or any like Fortnite, how you play, then eventually this like firewall or this humongous like toxic barrier comes out, right? And you have to get past it or else you die, right? So it forces people to go to this one section of the map. Well, it's kind of like that, but you're in a zoo. There's lions, there's lizards, eagles, sharks. There's all different types. Foxes, giraffe, ox. There's different types of characters that you can play on. And basically what happens is you fight to the death. It's one of those, fight till whatever type games. And that's basically it. There's nothing too fancy about it. It's just, I can be an eagle. And its special power is it flies up in the air and lands on someone's face and you can start shooting them with an arrow. It's super fun.
So like Pokemon?
Oh my gosh, Row. No, not like Pokemon. But I'm surprised we didn't mention that at all as far as video games, because I know that's like one of the most popular games ever.
Yeah, I was too old for Pokemon.
Yeah, you and me both. It's more or less like the Pokemon Go era that came out. You looked at it for a minute and then you stopped playing.
Yeah, well, I don't think it didn't. I remember my brothers were totally into that, and they're 8 and 10 years younger than I am. So
yeah,
definitely in a early mid 90s game. But I definitely remember that being all the rage, like having the cards. And of course my mom, she's a hoarder, and she kept all those cards and she brought them out to show my brothers, and they just had this massive collection of it. And then I remember all the different, like they had like Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Red, and for the Game Boys, and that was all the rage too. And it was just, I wasn't a big Pokemon fan. Even when the Pokemon Go stuff came out, I was like, I'm not too sure about this. Yeah. I just want a Charizard and a Pikachu, and I'm good. Thank you.
It's like, you don't need these evolved Pokemon. I just want the basic cute ones, man. The level 1 cuties. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. I don't need to be angry and rage. I just want the cute little ones,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so Row and Ark, there are mods you can install, and one of them is a Pokemon where you can actually tame Pokemon and play with them. I'm just saying.
I think if you were to sucker me into a game that you and the Florida boys would play, it would probably be that zombie game, because I had the most fun listening to the three of you play that game, and just like
7 Days to Die.
Yeah, I think if anything, that would be one that I would probably join you guys in. But.
They would be tickled to death if they would drop everything to play that game with you. You know that, right?
I know. Yeah. I got those boys wrapped around my finger.
Well, guys.
Anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah, we're actually going to leave this one here. We're hitting the end of the time marks, but we talked about a couple of our favorite games growing up and things, and obviously saw a couple of the little videos of those, if I can find them. If not, I'll put a picture up, but you'll know which ones I can't find. But let us know down below in the comments, what were your big video games? What did you grow up on? What are you playing now? Just have a conversation with us, and we'll try to type back in the comment section whenever you get a chance.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't have a YouTube account, the Knab and Row Show has a Facebook account, and definitely put questions or things you guys want to hear us talk about. Topics are always welcomed, and suggestions as well. And we're trying to get our voice heard out there. And if you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do. We are quick to respond if there's any notifications on there. So definitely not only like that YouTube video, but like our Facebook page too.
Absolutely, yeah. And so we want to thank everybody for watching this podcast video. And if you guys did like it, go ahead and jack that like button right in the nose. Don't forget to tell your friends and family about the Knab and Row Show. And as always, this podcast is a wrap.
Till next time, kids.